Wow, you have a gorgeous face. So do you. You want to make out? You know it, baby. Bow, 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 bow. Hey, Masters Universe fans, let's talk about the Masters Universe Scare Glow. He's the evil ghost Survey Skeletor. This is from Mondo.
This figure came out some time ago, and I've had it in a box just put to the side, and I figured, hey, let's go ahead and open it up. From Mondo, this is pretty much a standard packaging. It's a 1/6 scale collectible figure, and was originally available from MondoTees.com. But that's enough about the packaging. I'm sure you don't really care too much about that. Let's go and take him out.
And here he is. Oh my god, he's cool looking.
Accessories included are the obligatory extra hands, because every figure now has lots of different hands.
I mean, you gotta have some punching action in there, right? Or the menacing, I'm going to claw you hands.
We have the double skull swords in case you want him to be some sort of swordsman. I've seen quite a few people using the skull swords as his weapons of choice. Although to be honest though, I think the vast majority of people are most likely going to be displaying him with his Scythe of Doom. Let us not forget that he's got the Reliquary of Grayskull, which has a chain and cuff to it, very much reminiscent to the classic series that came out. You can also take off the top, and you have the key to Grayskull, which I'm really glad that they included this as well. Scare Glow has this really cool purple cape. It's got the lining down at the bottom, so you can kind of pose it a little bit here and there, which I'm happy they did, rather than just being like a plastic accessory that you can't really do much to. Unlike most Masters Universe Mondo figures, you do have your own stand, because more than likely, this guy's not going to be able to do that all on his own. Let's take a look at this badass scythe. I mean, I'm really loving the design they did in this. This is really menacing looking. Details and just the wrappings I think is pretty cool. The blade itself I think is just incredibly awesome. But let's look at the man himself. Now, this is the exclusive version that was released from Mondo, so he doesn't have the details from the Classics version, so he's slightly different. The most notable difference between this version and the Classics variant is the fact that the colors are inversed. This version has the painted on bones glowing in the dark, whereas the Classics version was inverse and you had the flesh part that was glowing in the dark. I personally preferred this version, which is why I got it instead.
Man, those eyes are just evil looking.
Here's a view of the back of him underneath his cape. I really love him, and even though most of his parts are reused from previous Masters figures that have come out, I'm still very happy with him. Real quickly, I'll just kind of go through his articulation. Obviously, he has movement in his head, his upper shoulders, his elbows, wrist movement, his mid-chest, waist, his upper legs, his knees, and his ankles. His knees and elbows have those double joints in case you want to put him in one of those weird poses. I don't know why, but I consider this skull crack some sort of battle damage. Definitely a lot of different poses you can put this guy in, depending on how you want him to be displayed. Excuse the crudity of this, but I'm trying to show what he looks like glowing in the dark, which is his best feature, and as a kid made a lot of people fall in love with his character.
I mean, really, look at that skull. It is so menacing looking.
I don't have the original Scare Glow that came out, but I do have the Origins version. I also have the Classics version, and I have the standard mainstream version that was released from the Revelation series as well, too. Looking at the Origins version that came out, you can see the different color scheme as opposed to the exclusive version that was released in Mondo, and you can see that the colors are inversed. As of the making of this video, the only other two figures that I currently have open is He-Man and Skeletor, and this is a nice comparison to see the three of them together. In conclusion, I do have to say I absolutely love this guy a lot. I love all of the Mondo figures. This series is not for everyone, but I am a huge fan of it. If you are interested in getting him, unfortunately he is long gone from the Mondo site itself. You'd have to go through a third-party vendor, and unfortunately you would have to pay a lot higher prices. But there's always a chance that he may be re-released at some point down the line. Anyways though, thank you guys for joining me in this toy review. I'm hopefully going to be doing a lot more of them down the line. Be sure to check out my Patreon site, my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I will see you guys later. Peace. Looking at some of the Mondo figures that have come out, sometimes it's kind of cute to see him next to the other Masters Universe figures. It's almost like he's the daddy and these are his boys.